So hello everyone. Hello. We are very happy and very honored to be on the stage today and to talk about Robot Framework. We're sending love from Germany. You've seen this pale white dot some time today. So again, we're from Germany. And as that guy with the hat already said, our talk is called Robot Framework to the Rescue, replacing EggPlant with a custom UI test library. So who are we? I'm Rico. I've studied computer science, and while still a student, I started to do test automation at the Deutsche Bahn, at the German railway, and, well, step by step became team lead for a small team that does test automation. And this is Lisa.
Hello, my name is Lisa. It's my first time in Finland and my first time at RoboCon. I'm very excited. I'm a test automation engineer and I work for Imbus in Germany. And I have testing experience for about 6 years and in test automation for about 2 years.
So what do we want to do with you today? I'm going to talk about the starting position. So where do we come from? Then where did Robot Framework help us, Robot Framework to the rescue? Lisa will then talk about the wonderful PlatynUI, do a little comparison between EggPlant and PlatynUI. We also have prepared a demo for you, and the conclusion will be done by me with some lessons learned. So, where do we come from? We did our test automation with image-based test automation, and I stand by that statement. Image-based automation is awesome. It's non-invasive, so all you need is an RDP or VNC server. It's technology independent. It does not matter if the app you test is Java or .NET or whatever, so you can access things other tools can't. Why is it? Because you do image recognition. You connect to your system under test, have an OCR run over the image the tool sees, and then you can program that, you can react to that. And because of that, it's also platform independent. You can use Linux, you can use Windows, you can use whatever you want. Even outdated Windows versions like Windows NT, you can test those with that. I do not want to discuss how good or bad that might be, but you can do that. And it is so awesome that in 2022, Andre and we held a talk at RoboCon 22 about the EggPlant library that Andre wrote, so we could use that tool to test our systems. So, a very short disclaimer here. The advantages and disadvantages presented here regarding image-based automation are not limited to EggPlant, but stem from the concept of image-based automation. Also, no fruit was harmed in the process. And there are some problems. Image-based automation has problems because the image recognition is not perfect. And you probably all have experienced that if you have a typeface without serifs. So I have some sample images here. So what is an I, what is a J? Of course, you can find out what is which. And a computer might be able to do that if you have an awesome font like this. However, if you have a typeface without serifs, as in the image, and maybe with some JPEG artifacts, it might get a bit harder. So is it an I? Is it a J? Is it a semicolon? And it gets even worse when we come to uppercase I and lowercase l. Of course, with that awesome Robot Framework typeface here, you can differ. You can pick which one is which. However, if you have a typeface like Arial, as in the sample image, good luck finding out. So, of course, as a user with at least half a brain, you maybe find out from the context which is which. But if you get this, for example, in a letter with your password, good luck. And by the way, just to mess with you, these are two pipes and neither an L nor an I. So there are also other problems here. So the title bar, for example, Windows does wonderful things with the title bar decoration. It's not consistent. Try to close all windows. you need, for example, you need to take 2 images of that little X to close the windows. That's awful. And even worse, let's close that second window. That window is behind. You have to do a lot of awkward test steps to actually manage windows. You have to do a lot of awkward test steps to actually find out what's written in your windows. You can't just say, read that text. You have to find out, you have to know what is there. You have to ask the system, is foobar there written? Is lorem ipsum written there? Find me all the places where this is written. So this, as awesome as image-based automation is, this makes writing test cases quite difficult. So things change. As I said, in 22 we had this talk, and we did this talk because we really liked the solution we found for our problems. But image-based testing always needs constant maintenance, much more maintenance than you have with regular test tools. And the downsides I just talked about, and these aren't the only downsides here, they continually grew in our project. So image-based testing is always a trade-off, and sometimes the downsides prevail, and that's where Robot Framework and PlatynUI came to the rescue, and that's what Lisa's gonna talk about. No, that's my, no. You see, that's the one thing that went wrong, and now everything will be perfect with your part of the talk. So, Robot Framework is awesome. Robot Framework is awesome, and you already knew that. So, we had a plan. Keep the high-level keywords and just change the low-level keywords. Or as an anonymous member of my team once said, the car is still driving, but we change the engine while it's running. Didn't quite work like that because, as I said, using image-based automation has a lot of awkward side corner cases and such, and there was no available library to completely fulfill our requirements. And now Lisa will talk about that.
Thank you, Rico. You might ask yourself why we developed our own library. Well, we looked on the market and found many alternatives, but we faced several issues with them. One issue was that they weren't open source and free, so we had to buy licenses and to build complex infrastructure. And at that moment, we had to save money, so this wasn't a suitable solution for us. Or there was a library with 2 old commits, and it wasn't supported anymore. Or we found one solution where we had to use development mode all the time. So this could be tricky, and it's not maybe not possible, and you have project restrictions where you aren't able to use that. We used several inspect tools, but they couldn't find out all elements we want to inspect, or we had to reboot the tool often, and this was quite frustrating. And the last thing is that not all our requirements were met, so we chose to build our own library, which is called PlatynUI. And PlatynUI is a robot framework library for UI testing. And it works with Windows, with the UI automation interface, with the Linux AT-SPI2 interface, and the Mac OS accessibility API. And it would be extendable by technology plugins. It comes with a built-in tool called the PlatynUI Spy. It is still in an early stage of development, and it is open source. And at the moment, 3 companies are investing in it. And the main ideas why we wanted to create our own library was that the keywords should simulate user behavior. And we don't want to create keywords for special controls. And one keyword should be used for many interactions. And keyword should ensure that action can be executed. And next, I want to show you the built-in feature, the PlatynUI Spy. You see two pictures. The right one is from Windows and the left is from Mac OS. It looks pretty identical. One is white and the other black, but it might no difference. On the top, you can search in your application via an XPath expression. On the bottom, you see your results. And the result is also marked in your application with a red frame, which you can see on the top left. And on the right, you see several infos on your searched item, such the name, or if it has an automation ID, you find it there, or if it's enabled or not. And next, I want to show you a small video where you can see how PlatynUI and Spy works together. On the top, you see our integrated development environment, Visual Studio Code. On the bottom left, you see our application key path. And on the bottom right, you see the PlatynUI Spy. And first of all, we search for our main window. And then we search for this add entry window, and you still see the red frames. Then we search for all edit fields, and we want to automate the username field. So we wanted to search for the automation ID. Then we copy the whole expression and paste it in our test case. And that's it. Next, I want to show you a small comparison between EggPlant and PlatynUI. That's both scripts. On the left, you see an EggPlant script, and on the right, PlatynUI. That's a very simplified form. And what you here see is we generate a new database in KeePass and add 2 entries. And in EggPlant, you are able to take many images, and then you could set search rectangles, and then you could make the test case even more robust. But in this case, I chose to wait for the window, and then I type in the title, the username, and the URL, and only uses the tab key to go to the next field. This is a not very robust solution, but it would take even much more time to set the search rectangles and to manage all the pictures. And this is a simple code for the PlatynUI. Here you don't have explicit to wait for the window. PlatynUI does this for you in the background. You have to search for your edit fields. They have all automation IDs, and the OK button is searched by name. And this is a very robust solution and need only a few maintenance. And now I want to show you a small demo where we create a new database and add 2 entries in KeePass. First of all, we set our master password. And then we add 2 entries. This takes about 40 minutes. 40 seconds, sorry. 40 minutes would quite be long. Yeah, that's it. And now I will pass over to Rico. He will tell about our lessons we have learned.
Thank you. So what did we learn from that? First point here are the maintenance costs. So as I already mentioned, image-based test automation needs a lot of maintenance, and the maintenance costs were much higher than we expected them. So, and what also plays into this is that if you use image-based test automation, your system under test has to be almost complete. So you can't, so it's not really suitable if you are completely agile and things change constantly, because for every change in your software, you have to adjust a lot of test cases. Also, the test cases themselves have to be very high quality. The test steps need to be very high quality, but that's something that's universal. What we learned about the low-level keywords. So changing the low-level keywords is not as easy as we thought. We have a new library, and with that new library, we have a new way of creating new test cases. And that means that the test team, all the test automation engineers, they all have to relearn how test cases and so the low-level keywords have to look like. And that means that introducing such a new library is a task for the whole team. Everyone needs to be on board with that and must be eager to learn about it. And last but not least, having the developers of the library work with the team is really awesome. It's so nice and so good to have the one and only Daniel on speed dial. So I'm a manager, more or less. And I like to look at management numbers, and probably you all have some guys who want to have rough numbers, who don't care about the technical stuff, but want to see numbers. And I really like these numbers because we have a team, and that team needed 5 days to automate 1 test case in EggPlant. And that same team needed only 1 day to automate the same test case in Platin UI. And the best thing was they had fun doing that. So if we got you hooked, you may now please crash GitHub server. Either by clicking that link or typing it in your phone or using the QR code. And if you have any more questions, you can ask them now, or you can send us an email, look at the websites. You might find organ stuff at my website, but that email works. And that's our talk. Thank you for listening. Thank you for doing that with me.
Excellent talk. Thank you, Lisa, and a guy without a hat. I have a name, Rico.
Yeah.
It's Antti. Any questions?
I'm very sorry, Antti.
No, it's fine. And I understood when you kind of pointed Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel has created value for you.
Yeah.
He's an important person for you.
Yeah.
You remember his name.
You only create.
I don't.
You only create jokes.
Fine. It's fine. Questions? There, money.
I was wondering, will you add the keyword documentation soon to the repo? I just checked it out and wanted to see the keywords. Is it something you plan to do soon?
Yes, we will do this, I think, in a short time, 1 or 2 months. I developed Platin UI not by myself. This has Daniel done.
Yeah.
But I want to support him, and I will work on the documentation.
Great. And a quick follow-up. I saw in the dependencies that you have the assertion engine. Can you do also assertions like in the browser library, like do a get text and then directly check that value?
The voice from behind.
Could someone please give Daniel a micro?
Yes.
Hello. Maybe the technical questions we can discuss in the deeper technical questions we can discuss maybe later. Yes. It should support these assertions from the browser. It supports these assertions from the browser. This is one thing I like a lot. That's why I use the same infrastructure from the core library. What was the name? And the assertion library and such things. Again, it's a very, very early state, this library, and there is no documentation. We try it, we implement a lot of things, and now we must make build the documentation and such things, stabilize all whatever needs to stabilize. And there's also another customer. Maybe it's not really clear from the talk. It's not your fault. It was a little bit late. There were 2 other customers that want to investigate into Platin UI and spend a lot of time, paid time for me, for my company, that I can implement a Linux version. And in the same way, we can implement a Mac OS version. So really, it's a very, very early state. And if you want to invest something, maybe you are interesting, then we have the Robot Framework. That's my idea. Robot Framework first UI library. This is only a library for Robot Framework, maybe then after that for other tools. But this is Robot Framework in mind, not something else like paid tools. We need need to learn a new language and whatever and integrate it. That's the idea. So let's see what happens, and then if you want, if you are interested and want to work with, then there are the links, and you know me at Slack and such things. You know it.
I think there was one question there. Anyone here? Let's take that.
How did you get the element names? It was unclear to me. So you shortly showed that you copy-pasted the element name, but how do you find out them? Or do you have to know them beforehand? For example, if I wanted to automate some clicking of the UI, so how would I know the element name of some certain program boxes or something?
With the Platin UI Spy, you are able to identify the names or the automation IDs. You just have to click on the window of the application, and then you can find it out.
So it's basically sniffing them from the operating system somehow.
Yeah. So it helps if your application has rather meaningful names then, so you can find the names in the SPY again.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Omo.
There you go. Lucky the intro is for me. This is actually very good application. You mentioned something about image, was it library or something like that? I actually used that one time to automate Power BI application. We had this connection between our application and Power BI, and it was hell. To be honest, it was hell. If I had this tool, it would have made my life really easy. Well done, I would say. This is not a question, just comment you guys. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more question, okay, there.
Or I have the mic. I have a question. Coming from a gaming industry, and we tried to do a POC for robot framework image recognition. We ended up with SQL library. I did a POC also with EggPlant, and I'm kind of familiar with that. I'm still thinking EggPlant is a little bit superior to robot framework because of if you have a lot of images, how you can handle them in the EggPlant. Do you plan to implement somehow some let's say EggPlant has a collections of images that you can use for the same button, for example? Because that's something that's killing me in maintenance because we have 200 games. I'm working on online casinos, and we have 200 games, and each is different. So that's a lot of images, and to handle it just like for every game separately, it will be killing me.
You can in EggPlant you can create image collections, and you can reference them in Robot Framework.
But in your library, will this be possible as well?
In our library, it's not referenced by the image; it's referenced by the name of the button.
Okay.
So in the button should have a name or some other ID to identify automation ID to identify it, and then you can find it and click it.
Okay, understand.
All right, one last question. Favorite board games? Like there was some board game kind of reference, so I assume that you like playing board games.
Many.
Okay.
I don't have one favorite game.
Okay. How long is
But
that?
I'm a huge fan of Spirit Island at the moment.
Yeah. Any other fans? No. Oh, yes. Okay. Good. How about Rico?
For me, I think it would be Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
I like trains.
A lot of jokes about that, but okay. Let's move on. Hey, thank you, Lisa and Rico. Here are your hockey jerseys.
Thank you.
Thank you.